What is up, everybody? I am your host, the longest reigning and current WWE pay-per-view champion, the one you all came to see, the hot commodity Aunt C, and I'm glad to be joined by my good friend and co-host again as we cover Monday Night Raw. Welcome, my good friend.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Christian, co-host of the Center Pro Wrestling Podcast, and Road to Backlash, Puerto Rico. I'm very, very excited. So we still have one more Raw before, but I think this Raw was decent. A lot of continuous storylines, but SummerSlam's coming up soon, so we'll see what's happening. But
Listen, man, I'm excited to beat you again in our predictions and retain this title. It's going to be a good.
nah, see, this one's in Puerto Rico, so it's a little more personal. I'm gonna win this one.
Well, you kind of got like the Zelina Vega syndrome, right? You kind of have
Yeah.
the whole idea, the whole people behind you, but it's okay. We'll see. We'll see. But yes, as you said, it was a pretty good Raw. This Raw was from April 24th, 2023, live in Chicago, Illinois. And to start out the show, we have
CM Punk. CM
right.
Punk.
He was at Impact the other night, and everyone's
Last night, yeah.
basically growing up with that situation going on to support Trinity, Naomi, who's now in Impact Wrestling.
I
Interesting
didn't expect
development
that
there.
one. I thought she'd go to AEW. I did not expect that one.
Well, I don't think they wanted her AEW. I think she just kind of went where,
I didn't think they wanted Mercedes and Monet in AEW either.
yeah, I'm surprised. But, listen, congrats to Trinity for doing that. And, CM Punk, interesting to see him in Impact there for a little bit. But, yeah, there you go. So, Cody Rhodes comes out to start Raw, and Cody says he will slay the beast at Backlash. And then he takes off his shirt. Cody says, "This scar doesn't go unnoticed. This scar is the same scar that showed I could beat one of the best right here in Hell in a Cell. I had a sold out arena carry me to the finish line. Thank you guys very much." That's when Finn Balor comes out. And Finn says, "We all got scars. I saw what happened at WrestleMania. I saw that you got screwed. You had no one there to have your back. I understand why you wanted Brock's help, but you trusted the wrong man. If you respect me, you'll hear what I have to say. Cody Rhodes on Judgment Day would be unstoppable. You made you made a mistake at WrestleMania. Don't do it at Backlash. Let us have your back." And then Cody Rhodes offers his hand and respectfully declines. Finn says, "You're either with Judgment Day or against us. Someday I'm going to smack that bleach from your head." Cody says, "You don't think I am cleared to compete, but I got cleared a couple of hours ago. Let's have a match tonight." So, Judgment Day has been having an interesting role lately. They've been getting involved in everyone else's storylines. Last week, Judgment Day was helping out the Bloodline. This week, he's getting involved to try to help Cody Rhodes against Brock Lesnar. Do you think this makes any sense, and are you excited to see Finn versus Cody again tonight?
Not really. I don't. Uh, I don't know. This is kind of tough because, like you said, they're kind of getting in the middle between everyone's storylines, and which honestly doesn't make any sense to me. I thought the bloodline thing was pretty cool, but they need to finish whatever they're doing with the LWO before they jump into any other storylines because it just makes this whole thing confusing. The bloodline, we're gonna see that shit end. Bloodline's done. The bloodline is it started out as Rhea and Damian Priest, and then
Judgment
Edge,
Day, you mean?
huh?
You mean Judgment Day?
I meant what did I say?
You said
Bloodline?
Bloodline, and I
Oh shit!
agree with you too because I think they're going to break up too. So I'm like, okay,
Yes,
I'm going with
I
you. Then I
meant
heard
Judgment.
Rhea.
Okay, I'm gonna restart everything. Restart everything. Restart everything. Okay, the Judgment Day is going to break up, and this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna say because Finn Balor's nothing in that group. I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Priest and Dom are very well together. Dominic is that punk kid, and he has this big badass Damian Priest to back him up. So it makes his heel character even more hateable. So I love those two together. Um, Rhea and Dominic. work very, very well together. They have the whole mommy shit. What does Finn contribute to the Judgment Day? I don't think anything. The feud with Edge is over, which we understood. Edge started the Judgment Day. Finn, uh, replaced him. They fight at WrestleMania. That's over with. Edge just drafted the SmackDown. Unless Finn gets drafted to SmackDown, there's nothing for him to do in the Bloodline. He's not interested in the Bloodline. And if I'm being honest, Finn's supposed to be the quote unquote leader of that group. The leader of that group's Rhea fucking Ripley.
I agree. Like, watching this and watching Finn Balor the past couple of weeks, he's been doing a lot of this stuff on his own. And I think that with the draft, coming up, maybe the Judgment Day will be drafted separately, and maybe we'll
They
see
will.
different. Hopefully, that will happen. But yeah, let's move on. I think I agree with you. The Judgment Day is going to end pretty soon, and I think Rhea definitely is the stand.
Rhea has to go on her own. It's time for Rhea. She's the SmackDown. Not only is she the
She
SmackDown
hasn't been
Women's
appearing with
Champion,
them either, though. Have you noticed that?
exactly. And I will say this again. I think Rhea Ripley is the best female wrestler in the world right now. Fuck Mercedes Moné. Fuck Jade Cargill. Fuck any of these no one competes with Rhea Ripley. I'm sorry. It is literally her. It should have been her time probably 6 months ago. But you know what? Everybody has their moment, and right now it's fucking Rhea Ripley's time.
Totally agree. Sorry, I was grabbing a drink there.
No, you're good. You're good.
I totally agree. That WrestleMania match she had against Charlotte, which we're definitely going to cover that still. Please bear with me. I know it's going to be late. I still have my notes, but that match she killed.
Holy shit! Yeah, we didn't even.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Don't worry. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's next for Rhea, and I'm excited for what's to come. So let's move on though. We have our first match of the night: the Bloodline defeating the LWO, which is Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wild, and Cruz del Toro. Del Toro dives and Santos hits and Solo hits a Samoan spike onto a diving Del Toro, and then the Usos nail 1D and get the victory. After the match, the Usos say that they had one bad night at WrestleMania 39, and this Friday they already dedicate their victory to Roman Reigns. So, what are your thoughts on LWO and Bloodline in this match, and the fact that the Usos, I don't know, they're making mistakes, it seems.
Well, we won't talk too much about the Usos because they made an even bigger mistake last night.
Mm.
So that's going to be a little more to talk about on them. But as the LWO, I'm loving the LWO, man. There's merchandise is selling like crazy. I will be buying an LWO t-shirt Friday when my next check. I will probably be buying an LWO shirt. But no, man, I don't think this is bad. Santos Escobar is clearly the leader of this group. Uh, he works very well with his guys, but I kind of want to see him more on his own. But for now, the LWO, all of them together is pretty good. As like I said, as for the Bloodline, I'll speak more a little bit about that later because what they really did on Friday was fucked. But it's just more teasing that I think Solo's just going to turn on him. I mean, I don't really know what's next for Jimmy and Jay. I know what's next for Solo, and that's the fucking any Solo's gonna be the next fucking. I won't be surprised if they put that new world heavyweight title at Night of Champions on Solo, like.
Mm.
But I don't know. I don't know if they will because I feel like Solo has to fight for the. I don't know. They might give that to Cody Rhodes, but then we'll talk about that later in the show. But I don't know. The bloodline's kind of all over the place right now, and the LWO. I'm loving it, and I just hope they don't have a match for Backlash, which kind of sucks. But they're doing a rumor has it they're doing a show in Tijuana. So there you go.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I agree. LWO is cool. Represent the Hispanic culture. I love all those guys in NXT. They were great. Actually, in my 2K games, I usually have the LWO compete for the tag titles. So I am a big fan of those guys. Angelina Vega obviously is one of my favorites. So I'm excited to see what's to come this year with the LWO. But moving on, we see Bianca Belly, the Raw Women's Champion, backstage, and basically Io Sky challenges um, Bianca to a match, but Bailey wants it to be a six-woman tag, causing dissension between the group, which we'll talk about as the match goes on. But all these groups, it looks like things are shifting. All these groups that were
There's
last,
too many fucking groups.
yeah, they're breaking up. It looks like.
Bailey should be a singles competitor. A lot of these people should be singles competitors.
And we'll cover the draft because something happens there, and we'll talk about that when we cover SmackDown. But we see Jay Uso's backstage, and he runs into one half of the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn. And Sami tells Jay that after dedicating your match this Friday to Roman, if you lose, you know what will happen. And Jay says, you need to worry about yourself. You made a choice, and like it or not, I did too. So again, we've talked about this before. Why is Sammy trying to befriend the Usos? I know he feels guilty. I know he did have a bond. I get the whole psychological element of it, but you're just teaching people and teaching kids who are watching this that if someone bothers you, someone fucks with you, keep trying. And I get that. Like I get the idea of, not giving up on somebody, but like you were like a fucking peon to these people for years, for not years, for almost a year, and now you feel sorry all of a sudden. It just doesn't make sense. But I guess it's an interesting element to the match. So that's all there really is to that.
I feel like and again, when a little more about on SmackDown, but with Sammy, I feel like they're teasing uh Jay also like turning in a way, if that makes sense. Because for Jay, I this is really hard on him. It's so hard on him because Jay hated Sammy for the longest time, and Jay is not. He accepted Sammy in when he really shouldn't, and now this is just all backfiring. But a part of me believes that Jay low key thinks he's right about when Sami Zayn says Roman's gonna betray you. Roman doesn't. He's using you. Jay, I think, kind of like Jimmy's kind of delusional in a way. Like I feel like Jay has like, well, he could be right, but like at the end of the day, that's his real life family. Like, and he's always gonna choose them. But it's just, I feel like Roman Reigns really has to do something. And again, what the Usos did on Friday was like, oh, the tribal chief is not going to be happy. And there's hints backstage with Paul Heyman on the phone with Roman. So when next time we see Roman, has to be has to be the entire bloodline in the ring. Roman, Paul, Solo, both the Usos, and they need to figure out what the fuck is next. What is next? Are the Usos going to get drafted to SmackDown too? Are they going to get drafted to Raw? And if they do get drafted to the Raw, how is this all going to play out?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
100%. I mean, there's a lot at stake for the bloodline. Let's move on. We see Trish Stratus backstage, and Trish just basically says that she felt bad for Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch was having a hard time juggling being the man and a mom, and she took her out for that reason to help her. And Becky should be saying thank you. It was great to see Trish Stratus again. And yeah, Becky wasn't there on a Raw, so just more ways to put Becky and Trish on the show. But I love seeing Trish. But
I like Trish. She's good. Um, the promo the promo, not one thing she said was wrong.
she was so hot in that. Oh my god.
Not one thing
I'm
she
not your
said was
childhood
wrong.
fantasy. I was
She
like,
said
oh.
she everything she said in that promo was 100% correct. Like I was sitting there watching, and I was like, I'm not much of a Trish Stratus fan. Like I was back in the day, I was more of a Mickey James fan, but or Lita. But I mean, that promo was. She said, "I'm the woman that started like." She said like something along the lines of, "I'm the first woman that made everyone in this world give a fuck about women's wrestling."
Mm,
That is damn. That's true. Yeah,
Mhm.
I believe her and China were the two people back in the day to start like people actually giving a fuck about women's wrestling. Everything in the promo was good. Again, the only reason I'm kind of like is because I'm not used. We're not really used. I know she's been heel early on in her career, but for majority, she's been babyface as fuck. She's never been booed, so it's good to see somebody like this get booed.
Mhm.
Now, my next thing is my next like wonder what if or like what's gonna happen next is what's they got to do something with Lita. What are they gonna do with Lita? So
I think
I'm
she was
excited to
written
see.
off.
Well, she really can't be, but it would be if she isn't, it's stupid. But she just can't be written off after that. At least she has to at least have one, so at least something. But overall, good stuff for Trish Stratus, and I'm excited to see what's next with her and Becky.
Same. Well, we get our next match, and I don't really care too much about this one. The Street Profits defeat Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Just a way to put the Profits on TV. We won't really talk much because I don't want to run anything for
I don't care about
SmackDown,
neither of those two
but
tag teams.
it's just basic tag action. This was exciting though. This segment, Triple H comes out, and Triple H says that he has the privilege to make sure the WWE will continue to go forward in the future. And Roman Reigns is coming up to 1,000 days as champion. Roman's defending against everyone, and he's proven that he's that damn good. However, he negotiated himself in a position not to defend when he wants to, and the WWE deserves more than that. When Roman Reigns gets drafted, he will take the WWE Universal Undisputed Championship and stay there. The
That's
other brand will determine a new champion. On May 27th at Night of Champions, we'll crown a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This champion will earn your acknowledgement. And I will tell you something. I thought that title was sexy as
It's
fuck.
a good looking title.
It was beautiful. I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say. Fuck everybody. I love this
It's a
belt.
little remix of an old world heavyweight title
Oh,
with a
it's
little bit of modern era.
beautiful. So, what are your thoughts on all of just what you just heard? What do you think?
Woo, okay, we have honestly, Ant, we might have to. Okay, we got 5 minutes. We'll see if I because there's a lot of things I low key have to say about this. Not a lot, but kinda. So first off, he mentioned that Roman Reigns will be taking both championships wherever he goes. So why are okay? So we know. Okay, first off, let me not go too fast. So we know Roman Reigns is taking both titles from SmackDown. So excuse me. Now we know that this new world heavyweight champion has to be on Raw. Has to be on Raw.
Or
Now,
SmackDown?
well, why would Roman Reigns have three champ? They're not going to get three championships to Roman Reigns. If they do, then I won't. That's a little bit ridiculous. I don't know. They have to have that championship on Raw. If Roman Reigns is on. Well, if Roman Reigns gets drafted to SmackDown, which I predict he will,
Mm,
um, I just because it's SmackDown's his brand, and whatever. I just think the fuck.
whatever. I love you. Go ahead.
Oh my god, no! Because I'm trying to get what I keep stressing about this time. Like, I'm looking at the time. Okay, whatever brand Roman Reigns gets drafted to, which whether it's Raw, SmackDown, whatever, the championship has to be in the opposite brand because you can't have Roman Reigns have all three titles. First off, that's a little bit too much. They got to change the name. So let's say Roman Reigns goes to Raw, they have to change the name to the WWE Universal Champion. You can't have the Universal Undisputed because Undisputed is two championships. And why are you gonna have two championships on one person if you're the if that's the main title on the promotion, and you're having another big champ, but you're naming it the World Heavyweight Championship, but he has the World Heavyweight Championship. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you just split the title? I don't understand. I don't. What do you understand? Why
I
Roman
see.
Reigns has
You're
two
saying,
championships?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Well, maybe they're just, I mean, they did that before where they did, okay, it's the world title, and they're like, this is the WWE World Championship. Like, it's like they're kind of doing that again. I agree with you. I don't understand, with that sense of it, there already is a world championship with the same exact name. why make another one? It doesn't make sense. But I do think that I don't know. I feel like they need to get rid of both titles and just keep one and make one title be. Maybe they'll have like Roman be pissed at Triple H remarks because Ant was telling me he was shocked by a lot of what Triple H said, about Roman being, not
No,
around.
I was too.
He laid him out. So maybe Roman might destroy a title. That's just, a thought. But okay, go on. We said we'll cover more after we come back from the break, but you still have some a bit more time.
No, yeah, I just my last couple thoughts is just like I said, that whole situation is just kind of rocky. Um, it just all depends. He said they're gonna do it at Night of Champions, so maybe they'll have a tournament where whatever like SmackDown and Raw will have a tournament, and then one from each brand will fight. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I just don't understand what's the point of bringing a new world title right now. Like, why can't you just split the titles and just have Roman? Like, I don't know. Why
Maybe
don't
I
you
think
just
to
split it?
solidify that Triple H has taken over and that everything's going to change. I don't know. I agree with you. There's no point in it. But I'm just thinking, like, Vince sends out the memo that he's not doing creative. That's Triple H. Then all this stuff starts happening. I think it's just a sort of way to usher in a new era in WWE. But if they're going to do that, kind of like you and get rid of the world title and have him have one title and have the other person have the other, I agree. Um, but let's talk a bit more. We see the bloodline backstage, and Jimmy and Jay are talking, and Jay's like, "Well, what happens if we don't win?" And Jimmy's like, "Don't worry about that. We're gonna win. Don't even think about that." Good, thought provoking. Not thought provoking. What's that? Foreshadowing for Jey Uso's. What if we don't win? We then get a six-woman
It's gonna
tag.
be a good match.
What happened?
I said it's gonna be a good match.
It definitely is. We have the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belly with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeating Damage Control after Bianca hits Bailey with a KOD. Basic match to kind of get the women on. Now let's talk about here. We're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the United States Championship. Cody Rhodes versus who's he fighting tonight? Finn Balor and Bad Bunny makes his appearance on Raw. Stay tuned, a lot more to come. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the current longest reigning WWE pay-per-view champion, the Hawk Mighty and C, joined by my good friend, co-host, natural born killer. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name's Christian. Let's continue talking about Monday Night Raw. We were just talking about how we got to introduce a new title. I just don't know how it's gonna play out, man. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, man, we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna move on after we talk about the women's tag match. We saw Bianca, Liv, and Raquel get the win. Not a lot of action, just just putting the women on time for TV. We then move on ahead and we have the United States champion Austin Theory come out. And Austin says, I am the greatest United States champion of all time. I deserve to be the new world heavyweight champion. Bobby Lashley comes out and Lashley says, when are you going to stop running away from every obstacle in your path? I know how tough you are. Are you lazy or scared? You should welcome every opportunity to fight for the title. I'm the one that requested a three-way match at Backlash. He's talking about Austin Theory versus Bronson Reed versus Bobby Lashley set for Backlash in Puerto Rico. Theory says, "Where was your match at WrestleMania?" And then Bobby Lashley and Theory brawl. Lashley sends Theory into the railing. Bronson Reed then comes out and attacks. Theory and Reed team up against Lashley, and Bronson splashes Lashley against the ring post. A town down to Lashley, and then Reed takes out Theory with a tsunami. So Bronson Reed looks like he could be walking out of Backlash as U.S. champion. What are your thoughts on this match and everything?
Absolutely not. They're not. I'm sorry, they are not giving Bronson Reed the title. he impresses me a little bit though. I will say
Mm.
I didn't he didn't impress me too much, but he's more of a bigger guy who could do some cool moves. We saw him a little bit in the Elimination Chamber match, and he didn't look too bad. So I just don't think he's gonna beat Austin Theory. I don't think he's championship material quite yet, but give him a year. And I don't think I think maybe he'll surprise us. Again, after this whole draft thing's done, a lot of these superstars, they're getting a lot. Some of them are getting opponents so they've never been in the ring with before, and the draft is about all new opportunities. So Bronson Reed, he could have a good opportunity whether he stays on Raw or goes to SmackDown. I'm kind of excited to see him because I liked him a little bit in NXT. Like I didn't keep up with him too much, but I thought a little bit of his work on NXT. So we'll see how he does. But as of Austin Theory, it's Austin Theory, U.S. champion. I think he'll retain at Backlash. But this is another good performance by Billy Gunn too.
Yeah. Next we'll just breeze over this one. Mustafa Ali defeats Chad Gable. Not a lot here. Again, just Mustafa Ali and random storylines for no
Yeah,
reason.
I don't know. They need to get rid of him or something, or
It's
do
ridiculous.
something. He should be
Put him
like a
in
Dolph
NXT.
Ziggler. He's gonna.
Do
He should.
something.
Send him back to fucking now. Oh, yeah, send him back down to NXT so you could have like a Dolph Ziggler championship type of run.
And then bring him back up. Um, Next we have Cody Rhodes defeating Finn Balor in a decent match. Cody nails a pedigree and a crossroads. Decent match. Again, after this match, not a lot story wise, just a good match between these two guys, which is good. It's good to have a good match on a Raw. I'm not gonna hate on it, but again, no real story other than Cody Rhodes defeating Finn Balor, right?
I agree. They're not going to do anything with this. None of them has titles. Cody's pushing for a title. Again, I've said my little thoughts on Finn earlier. He doesn't do anything for this group. He doesn't. He's not interesting. I knew. The I kind of predicted the Edge thing with Edge was going to kind of be his
Hmm.
uh final thing. Unless they break. Unless I don't know. I just don't know what the fuck's there to do with him. And like as much as I love Damian Priest, I don't know what's there to do. What are they gonna do with him after this, after Backlash? I don't know.
U.S. title. Well, speaking of don't know, this sort of situation kind of gave us some purpose to this match that was made at Backlash. Seth Rollins comes out and Seth says something bigger has caught my eye. Triple H said some nice things about Roman Reigns. You know who isn't on Roman Reigns' list of defeats? Me. Roman wants you to believe that everyone wants to be like Roman Reigns. He says, but some of us still want to fight. This opportunity will give us a title that is about more than politics and part timers. And that's when Omos and MVP come out. MVP says, I would caution mentioning your future when Omos is going to end you at Backlash. Seth says, Omos, you're once in a generation because you were born that way. Seth Rollins is once in a generation because I made myself. I'm going to make you famous and give you a match of your career. After the stomp, you're going to be singing my song. You're going to have them singing my song. So, again, this match, Omos versus Seth Rollins, was made for Backlash with no purpose. I think this match is still not going to be great, but at least they're giving some. I mean, my opinion, they should have announced the match after. They should have had Seth do this and then have Omos come out, and then you could say, okay, like, match still sucks, but at least we can understand. When I found out about the match, I didn't give two flying fucks and I was confused. But now there's some sort of, reasoning Omos interrupts him. What are your thoughts?
I still don't understand this, but
Yeah.
whatever. When I saw the card, I was like, "What? Seth Rollins versus Omos? This is really random."
Mm.
Okay, yeah, a lot of these matches are random because we know what's gonna happen, but I don't know. I just don't think. I kind of think we're gonna get Rollins and Roman. I'm calling it now, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I have a
April
theory
30th,
I heard.
2023. I am predicting that WrestleMania 40 live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I will be there. It will be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the Undisputed Championship. I'm calling it.
I have a theory that I will share when we cover SmackDown. Um,
Okay.
our main event comes up. We have Damian Priest taking on Rey Mysterio, and Rey actually gets the win here by disqualification after Damian Priest tosses a chair right into the face of Rey. After Damian hits Rey with a South of Heaven, Bad Bunny comes out with a kendo stick, and Bad Bunny attacks Damian Priest with kendo stick shots, and Damian Priest runs out of the ring. Bad Bunny grabs a mic and he says, "Hey, Damian, I'm not hosting Backlash. Now I'm going to Puerto Rico to kick your ass." Damian Priest, Bad Bunny in a street fight. So the match is set. The news outlets are going to be covering this because Bad Bunny is a worldwide phenomenon. Bad Bunny, Damian Priest in a street fight live in San Juan, Puerto Rico at Backlash. What are your thoughts?
We already know how I feel about this. I'm fucking excited. Bad Bunny's my favorite artist. Damian Priest, one of my favorite wrestlers. My family, we're gonna watch it downstairs because it's in Puerto Rico. That's where my family's from. So that's the first time they're doing a show there. So we're gonna watch it downstairs. It's gonna be really, really fucking cool to see. Um, I know a lot of people hate on the celebrities wrestling, but and I know this is kind of like weird, boring, whatever. Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, they're good at it. They're gonna get trained by real people. Damian Priest is probably, let's be honest here. Damian Priest is probably gonna help him. He's gonna go like choreograph, like they're gonna train, they're gonna rehearse this match a shit ton. He's gonna get good training. That's what, like Logan Paul trained by Shawn Michaels. A lot of they're all gonna get. He's gonna get trained. It's gonna be a good match. Um, they've teamed up at WrestleMania before. We know the history with that. So it's just gonna see. It's just gonna be two Puerto Rican guys in Puerto Rico just beating the shit out of each other. And over there, they're crazy for wrestling. So it's gonna be a fucking brawl, and that better be the main event.
I'm excited, man. I'm rooting for Bad Bunny all the way.
Hell yeah.
Well, with that, that's it for this episode of Monday Night Raw. Our next recap will be Friday Night SmackDown, where the draft starts. And then this Monday on Raw, we have night two of the draft. A lot happening. Christian, I want to thank you for joining me.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back with our Friday Night SmackDown recap. I want y'all to stay safe and stay uncensored. Peace.